If you've ever wondered how American politics looks from the other side of the Atlantic, you're not alone. From the US's two-party system to its electoral college, many Europeans find American democracy fascinating and sometimes a little puzzling. But what can we learn when comparing United States political systems to European nations? Today, we'll explore the unique challenges and opportunities of American democracy through the lens of European perspectives, focusing on countries like the UK, Germany, and France. By the end of this video, you'll have a clearer understanding of why US politics stands apart and what it might learn from its European counterparts. Let's start with a simple observation. While the US and Europe share a commitment to democracy, their political systems couldn't be more different. In the US, two major parties, Democrats and Republicans, dominate politics. Meanwhile, European countries like Germany and France embrace multi-party systems that often cause coalition governments. This difference shapes how decisions are made, how power is shared, and how citizens engage with their leaders. But it's not just the number of parties. It's the fundamental way governments are structured. In the US, power is separated between the President, Congress, and the Supreme Court, creating a system of checks and balances. European countries, on the other hand, often operate under parliamentary systems, where the executive branch emerges from the legislature and depends on its support to govern. These contrasting approaches affect everything, from how leaders are chosen to how policies are implemented. And to understand these differences, we're going to focus on three countries, the UK, Germany, and France, each offering a distinct perspective on governance. First, let's talk about elections, the lifeblood of democracy. In the United States, the Electoral College often takes center stage in presidential elections. This unique system means that a candidate can win the presidency without winning the popular vote, as we've seen in recent history. To many Europeans, this seems strange, as most European nations elect their leaders through direct popular votes or proportional representation. Take Germany as an example. The German Bundestag, or parliament, is elected through a mixed-member proportional system. Voters cast two votes, one for a local representative and another for a political party. This ensures that smaller parties have a chance to influence policy, creating a more diverse political landscape. Compare that to the US, where third-party candidates face almost insurmountable barriers due to the winner-takes-all nature of elections. Now, let's move our focus to the UK. British politics operates under a parliamentary system, meaning the Prime Minister is chosen from the majority party in the House of Commons. This system fosters a closer connection between the legislative and executive branches. A sharp contrast to the US's separation of powers. But the UK isn't without its challenges. For example, the first past, the post-electoral system, where candidates win by a simple majority, often results in disproportionate representation, not unlike the Electoral College in the US. Despite these flaws, the UK's system is designed for efficiency, allowing governments to push through policies quickly, sometimes too quickly, critics argue. The US, by contrast, is often seen as gridlocked, with its checks and balances, creating frequent legislative deadlocks. While this can be frustrating, it also ensures that no single branch or party has unchecked power, a feature many Americans value deeply. France offers yet another model, the semi-presidential system. Here, power is shared between a president and a prime minister, creating a balance that blends the strengths of presidential and parliamentary systems. The French president, much like the US president, is elected directly by the people and wields significant power over foreign policy and national defense. However, the Prime Minister, appointed by the President, must have the support of the National Assembly to govern effectively. This system allows for flexibility. If the President's party controls Parliament, they dominate the political scene. But if the opposition wins, France enters a period of cohabitation, where the President and Prime Minister come from opposing parties. This forces compromise, something often absent in the polarized U.S. political landscape. Another key difference lies in the ideological spectrum. In the U.S., political discourse often revolves around a sharp left-right divide. Issues like healthcare, taxation, and social policies are deeply polarizing, with little room for middle ground. In many European countries, the political spectrum is broader, with multiple parties representing a range of ideologies. Germany's Green Party, for example, focuses on environmental issues, while France's National Rally caters to far-right voters. These parties often form coalitions, forcing compromise and collaboration. A stark contrast to the winner-takes-all mentality of U.S. politics. This ideological diversity shapes public policy. While Americans debate the merits of universal health care, it's a given in most European nations. While U.S. elections are often high stakes, winner-take-all contests, European elections tend to focus on incremental policy changes, negotiated among coalition partners. From a European perspective, some of the challenges facing U.S. democracy stand out starkly. First, there's voter participation. Despite its proud democratic traditions, the U.S. consistently has lower voter turnout compared to many European countries. Why? Complex registration processes, fewer voting days, and widespread voter suppression concerns all play a role. In contrast, countries like France and Germany often have higher turnout due to simpler voting processes and a stronger emphasis on civic duty. Second, the role of money in politics is a significant difference. In the U.S., campaign financing is dominated by super PACs and corporate donors, leading to concerns about the influence of money on policy. European countries generally have stricter campaign finance laws, limiting donations and ensuring greater transparency. Finally, there's the issue of polarization. While European nations certainly have their divides, the U.S.'s two-party system amplifies political tribalism. In countries like Germany, coalition governments force parties to work together, while the U.S. often sees legislative stalemates and partisan gridlock. But it's not all criticism. There are strengths in the U.S. system that Europeans admire. For one, the U.S.'s robust system of checks and balances prevents any single branch or leader from becoming too powerful. This separation of powers is a cornerstone of American democracy and a model of accountability. The U.S. also has a strong tradition of grassroots activism. From the civil rights movement to modern-day advocacy, Americans have shown a remarkable ability to push for change from the ground up. Meanwhile, the diversity of European systems offers lessons for the U.S. Proportional representation could give third parties a stronger voice. Stricter campaign finance laws might reduce the influence of money in politics. And prioritizing voter participation could help revitalize American democracy. Ultimately, comparing U.S. and European politics highlights one key truth. There's no one-size-fits-all approach to democracy. Each system reflects its history, culture, and values. For Americans, looking at European systems can spark fresh ideas for addressing challenges like polarization, voter turnout, and campaign finance. And for Europeans, understanding the U.S. system offers a deeper appreciation of its resilience and innovation. So, what do you think? Could the U.S. learn from Europe's coalition politics, or are its challenges too deeply rooted? Tell us your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this comparison insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, because these conversations matter. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.